Hello, I'm Nathan Judah. I'm delighted to be joined by Wolverhampton Wanderers reporter. It is Mr. Liam Key. Liam, feels like such a long time since I saw you last. It is like London buses, two impromptu videos within the space of an hour. And this one, well, look, it's always disappointing when you lose your best player, but you can understand it. What we definitely have for you now is some very good news.
Absolutely, that left the floor open to me straight away.
The floor is yours, my friend. You can go any way with it.
Yes, no surprise, but nonetheless, good news that Gary O'Neill and his coaching staff have all signed new contracts until 2028. So they're fresh 4-year contracts, but 2-year extensions on the deals that they signed this time last year. It's a big opportunity for Gary to manage this great football club and to come in and under difficult circumstances. And they did an excellent job last year. We spoke to Matt Hobbs roughly around March time, I believe it was, and he said that, look, it's going to happen. He's going to get a new contract. We're going to have those talks. We've been waiting for those talks to be concluded, to be finalised, and here they are. We've got pictures of Gary O'Neill and Matt Hobbs. He's signing his contract. I'm sure he'll be delighted because it'll include pay rise, a bit more security, all of the things that Gary and his coaches deserve really for the job that they've done. And Wolves are keeping hold of an up and coming young English manager who's done a fantastic job. It's a win-win all round. Yeah,
an up-and-coming young English manager, exactly right, Liam, and someone who has been linked tentatively with a lot of big jobs. I mean, you look at a few months ago and before Slot came in, there were talks about there were a few rumours about Liverpool, about Manchester United, even England, and we had Gary O'Neill on the podcast last week, was it? It was probably last week, and talking about, we asked him about his future, about his contract, and he was very open. He said that. It's something that he'd like to get done, something that he was confident of getting done, but he's got a lot of things that he's balancing at this moment in time. So they obviously got back. He's got back from America. They've sorted it out, and I think the majority of fans, if not 95, 100%, will be delighted about this deal because he's very good for this football club, especially the way that they're going, the way that they're signing players, the restraints that they've got, the relationship with Matt Hobbs, the relationship he got with the fans last year. He thoroughly enjoys this challenge, as you can say, as he's told us. And I think that this is probably one of Wolves' best signings of the window.
Yeah, and look, Wolves fans are a very passionate bunch. It's not easy to win Wolves fans around, but when you do, they're with you. And Gary and his team did that relatively quickly last season. It was they needed some big wins. The Man City one obviously is the one that stands out, and that sort of gave them the momentum carrying through into the rest of the campaign. But to have created that sort of bond with the fans, bring the players and the fans together was really quite important at the time. Despite some challenges earlier in the summer and despite losing Max Kilman, about to lose Pedro Neto, but also bringing 3 signings in, they've been able to continue that as well. Tomorrow at Rayo Vallecano, I think it will be a good opportunity for fans to give Gary more appreciation and vice versa as well. It's been a situation that's almost been a perfect storm, really. You've got a manager who's taken a big opportunity and deserves to be rewarded for it. And then I just want to pick out as well some of Jeff Shee's quotes in the announcement, because I think they're quite telling, really. He describes Gary as a key member of the team, maybe even the most important member. So, very high praise, and goes on to say, and I will read it verbatim very quickly. He works very hard and is very humble. He might be the humblest manager I've ever worked with, and one of the most hardworking coaches I've ever met. His strengths are around his tactics and his chemistry with the players. I think that says everything you need to know and sort of sums up really what we've been discussing in this video. I think Jeff Shee speaks very well there on the strengths and qualities that Gary O'Neill brings to this team. He's been able to bring everyone together, and now going through into a new campaign, it feels like the perfect timing to sign a fresh contract.
Yeah, Jeff, she talks a lot about the strengths, tactics, relationship with the players, also the relationship with the fans, which I think is integral, and the way that he's won them over, like you say. Look, he signed a 3-year deal when he came in, obviously under improved terms now. He was entering the 2nd year of that 3-year deal. So in essence, it's an extra 2 years on top of that. Now, Wolves going forward, things can change very quickly with Wolves and fans, but I think that you've almost gone over the top now. We know this is a difficult first 6 games. We know that Wolves may not have the points that they want to after the first 6 games. Hopefully they can just bring a couple of surprises. But realistically, you know, it is a difficult first set of fixtures. But at the same time, Wolves are looking long term, aren't they, with Gary Neal? This isn't 3-game run or a 6-game run or an 8-game run where they might be struggling for points, struggling for momentum. They want him for the long term. And I think in terms of protecting themselves as well, and Gary O'Neill, you know, if he does do well, Wolves are doing well, Gary Neal is going to be talked about. They've appointed an England interim manager at this moment in time. There will be bigger jobs that come up. And if Wolves do well, if Gary Neal continues to succeed, there will be people who will come in for Gary O'Neill. And we can't say that Gary Neal will be here at the end of those 4 years. But what we can say with that contract is that there will be a lot of compensation now that attached to this deal.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick point on what you said there about long term. Again, Jeff Shee specifically refers to having Gary Neal with them in the long term, which I think is a really telling point that he makes in those quotes. And then absolutely what you said there, it's not just an important and smart footballing decision, but I think it's a shrewd financial decision as well, because yes, they're having to pay Gary and his staff more money in the meantime. Of course they are, but they protect themselves going forward if and when Gary Neal is tempted or poached by a big job that may or may not come up in the future. I mean, it's inevitable that he'll be linked with other clubs if he continues to do well. So it makes a lot of sense for all parties, really, because Gary, you know, he's only had his first pre-season as a head coach, and he's coming to the end of it this weekend, isn't he? And it's only his second job as a manager, going into his third season as a manager. So yeah, it's equally, he's in the infancy of his managerial career as well as him doing really well. So they've got to find the right balance, and I think they've struck that. As you say at the beginning of this video, it's probably the best signing Wolves are going to make this summer.
Keno, I don't want to see your face anymore tonight. I love you, but crikey, can I just see you at Vallecano?
Yeah, to be fair, I'm definitely up for not seeing you again for quite a while, actually. Maybe not even Vallecano. If you don't turn up, I'll be happy enough with that.
That's the big news today. Gary O'Neill, Pedro Neto. Oh yeah, and Bueno's gone to Feyenoord. We'll see you later.